Respect is often assumed to come from status, wealth, intelligence, or personal achievements. People think that if they are highly skilled, hold a powerful position, or have an impressive reputation, others will automatically respect them. But Nietzsche's insight points to something deeper and less visible: the ability to master yourself, especially your emotions. Without self-mastery, achievements lose their shine, and authority loses its weight. A person who cannot control their emotions will struggle to maintain lasting respect, no matter how talented or successful they may appear. This is because respect is not only about what you can do, it is about who you are when life tests you. Emotions are not the enemy. They are a natural and essential part of being human. They give meaning to experiences, they connect us to others, and they can even be a source of strength. But when emotions are left unregulated, they can turn from a source of power into a source of weakness. Losing control of your emotions is essentially handing over the steering wheel of your life to external forces, other people's words, sudden events, or minor frustrations. If the smallest provocation can make you angry, anxious, or defensive, you show the world that you are not the one in control. Nietzsche saw this lack of control as a form of weakness, not because emotions are bad, but because being ruled by them means being ruled by the world outside you. Think of a person in the workplace who has incredible skills, but reacts with hostility whenever their ideas are questioned. Even if their work is brilliant, their inability to control their emotions makes colleagues wary. They may win short-term compliance. People might avoid challenging them. But that avoidance is not respect. True respect grows when people see that you can remain calm under pressure, handle disagreements without hostility, and make decisions without being driven purely by temporary feelings. This is why, in any environment, whether it's a workplace, a friendship, or a family, emotional steadiness builds credibility. It shows others they can rely on you when situations become unpredictable. Psychology supports this idea. Studies on emotional intelligence repeatedly find that people who can identify, understand, and manage their emotions tend to have better relationships, greater influence, and higher professional success. Emotional intelligence is not about suppressing what you feel. It is about creating space between stimulus and response. This space is where self-respect and respect from others are both built. When you react instantly and impulsively, you give away your power. When you pause, think, and choose your response, you communicate strength, both to yourself and to others. Nietzsche believed that strength is not measured by how much you can impose your will on others, but by how well you can impose it on yourself. Emotional control is one of the clearest demonstrations of this self-command. If someone insults you and you immediately lash out, you are playing their game. You are letting them decide how you will behave. But if you remain composed, you send a different message. You are not at the mercy of their words. This is why people who can keep their emotions steady in the face of provocation often gain quiet authority. They are not reactive. They are deliberate. Consider the example of a professional athlete. In a high-stakes game, a referee makes an unfair call. One athlete loses control, argues aggressively, and earns a penalty. Another athlete channels the frustration into better performance, focusing even harder on winning. The second athlete not only avoids punishment, but also earns the respect of teammates, coaches, and even fans who value discipline over drama. This principle applies everywhere: at work, in personal life, in leadership. Respect is rarely given to those who let emotions dictate every action. It is given to those who can feel deeply yet act wisely. There is an important distinction here between control and suppression. Control means allowing yourself to feel emotions fully, but deciding how and when to express them. Suppression means pretending the emotions aren't there or pushing them so far down that they eventually erupt uncontrollably. True control requires awareness. It means noticing when you are angry, anxious, or hurt, and then asking, what response will serve me best in this situation? Sometimes the answer might be direct communication. Other times it might be walking away to think. The goal is not to be emotionless, but to ensure your emotions serve your values rather than sabotage them. From a social perspective, people instinctively respect those who display emotional steadiness. In group settings, a calm presence creates a sense of safety. When a leader handles a crisis with composure, the team feels reassured and focused. When someone responds to criticism with curiosity instead of defensiveness, They create an environment where ideas can be exchanged freely. On the other hand, those who react with outbursts or constant negativity create tension and instability. People may still work with them if necessary, but they will not see them as dependable or admirable. Nietzsche's philosophy of self-mastery connects with the psychological concept of self-regulation. Self-regulation is the ability to control impulses, resist short-term temptations, and align actions with long-term goals. Research shows that people with strong self-regulation are more resilient, have better problem-solving abilities, and inspire more trust. In everyday life, this could be as simple as choosing to respond to a hurtful comment with calm reasoning instead of anger, or as significant as making careful decisions during a personal or financial crisis, rather than panicking. Emotional control also strengthens self-respect. Every time you choose a measured response over an impulsive one, you reinforce your own sense of agency. You prove to yourself that you are capable of steering your life rather than being swept away by circumstances. This inner confidence changes the way you carry yourself, and others notice it. People tend to treat you in ways that reflect the way you treat yourself. If you carry yourself with self-control, others are more likely to treat you with seriousness and respect. Of course, controlling emotions is not easy. It is a skill built over time through conscious effort. One effective method is to identify emotional triggers and prepare for them in advance. If certain situations consistently provoke strong reactions, like being interrupted, criticized, or ignored, you can develop strategies to handle them. This might mean taking a few deep breaths before speaking, asking clarifying questions instead of making assumptions, or even excusing yourself from the conversation until you are ready to engage constructively. Over time, these small acts of self-regulation accumulate, and emotional control becomes a natural habit rather than a forced effort. Another useful approach is mindfulness. Mindfulness trains you to observe your thoughts and emotions without immediately acting on them. By learning to notice the rise of anger, anxiety, or frustration as it happens, you create a pause between feeling and action. This pause is where wisdom enters. It allows you to choose a response that aligns with your values and your long-term interests, rather than being driven by temporary emotions. In this way, mindfulness is not just a relaxation technique. It is a tool for building respect. Real-life situations constantly test emotional control. In traffic, when someone cuts you off, you can either explode with anger or choose to let it go, understanding that escalation serves no purpose. In disagreements with loved ones, you can either shout to be heard or listen calmly and respond thoughtfully, knowing that the goal is resolution, not victory. In both cases, the choice you make communicates to others what kind of person you are. Over time, people remember how you handle moments of tension more than how you handle moments of ease. Nietzsche's reminder is not about becoming a perfect stoic who never feels anything. It is about recognizing that uncontrolled emotions can undermine both your self-respect and the respect others have for you. By mastering your emotions, you not only protect your relationships and reputation, but also build the foundation for personal freedom. You are no longer pulled in every direction by the whims of the moment. You decide who you will be in each situation. That is true strength, and it is a strength that naturally draws respect. In the end, it is worth remembering that respect cannot be demanded. It is earned through consistent behavior. People respect those who are steady in storms, thoughtful in conflict, and deliberate in their actions. Emotional control is at the heart of this. It does not mean being emotionless. It means being the master of your own inner world. Nietzsche's insight is as relevant today as it was in his time. If you cannot control your emotions, you will always be at the mercy of the world, and respect will slip through your fingers. But if you can master yourself, respect will follow naturally, because people recognize true strength when they see it.